So, you have found it, the one, the big stone thing, basking in that sickeningly perfect golden light, is just sitting there, vibrating with history, looking less like a building and more like a paused memory of a life you haven't earned yet. Right now, you are just a sad soul with a delusion of Frenchness. Look at the shutters. They are slightly askew. They are shrugging. I am a tired plank of wood, leave me alone. And there is a weeping willow. Of course there is. It has seen the revolution, the German occupation, and now it is looking at you in your beige shorts, which make it weep harder. And the price, you might ask? The price is an insult to the very concept of commerce. Stop. Don't sign anything just yet. Put the pen down. Put the rosé down. It is cheap plonk anyway. Because today we are not here to dream. No. No. We are here to perform an autopsy on a lie. A big, crusty, baguette-shaped lie. I will attempt to save your unsuspecting and un-French self from buying a pile of malevolent rubble that will inhale your pension, eat your sanity, and then smoke a Gauloise cigarette while laughing at your misery. And so today I present to you how to spot red flags in French property listings. Number 1. The Rosetta Stone of ruin. Sometimes French estate agent speak is a weaponized dialect of optimism. Indeed, it is a language where total disaster is framed as charm. And so you must learn to translate the euphemisms that may flourish in some listings. À rafraîchir, to refresh. You read this and you imagine a coat of paint, a Sunday afternoon with a roller, a radio, and voila. No. This is a property that has been left alone so long it has developed opinions. Its decoration is on speaking terms with the Cold War. When you have a closer look at the paint, you realize this isn't paint, this is geology, strata, sediment, an entire timeline of bad decisions. À rafraîchir is what the listing says when the place doesn't need a coat of paint. It needs an exorcism and a skip. Beau potentiel, beautiful potential. This is code for barn. It is not a house, it is a suggestion of a house. It is a box of stones and a prayer. Dans son jus, in its own juice, a phrase that sounds culinary but tastes of lead pipes and 1950s wiring. It signals a home that is rotting from the inside out. Idéal bricoleur, ideal for DIYers. Translation: ideal for a professional structural engineer with unlimited funds and a massive death wish. So, ask the agent the following. Can you clarify the extent of the renovations required? Specifically, do the electricity and plumbing meet current French norms? Is the kitchen currently functional and plumbed in? How long has the property been vacant? But adjectives are merely the appetizer of deception. The main course is the visual evidence. Number 2. The photography of omission. In French real estate, sometimes photography is not documentation, it is censorship. No photo of the bathroom, that is not an oversight, that is a confession. It implies a bucket, or worse, a sani broyeur, a macerator toilet installed in a kitchen cupboard next to the pasta, also known as a mechanical device that shreds your dignity along with the waste. The wide-angle lie. Beware the lens that curves the walls. It turns a chambre de bonne, a maid's room, into a ballroom. It bends physics to sell you space that does not exist. You arrive full of hope, only to realize you can touch all 4 walls without taking your hands out of your pockets. The tourist board distraction. You see 3 photos of the local medieval church, 2 of a cow, for some reason, 0 of the rear facade. They are selling you the region because the house itself is a crime scene. Ask the agent. I noticed there are no photos of the sanitary facilities. Is there a standard flushing toilet or a sani broyeur? Could you provide a photo of the electrical panel? Do you have a basic floor plan with dimensions? Okay, you have seen the visual distortions. Now, before we measure the rooms, you must locate the house, because the listing may be trying to erase the map. Number 3, the sector scam. Some French listings treat geography as a fluid concept to protect their commission. They use phrases like Secteur Marseille or Sud Gironde. This is not a location, it is a keyword strategy. Secteur Marseille usually places you 45 minutes away next to a duck farm in a village where the bakery died in 1998. Scrutinize the windows in the photos. Are they blown out with white light? Why is the view hidden? Because the view is a cement factory or a high-speed train line. Whoosh! There goes your peace and quiet. Ask the agent. Could you please provide the specific address or GPS coordinates? Is the property located near any busy roads or commercial zones? What is the driving distance to the nearest bakery and supermarket? You have pinpointed the location. It is not adjacent to a nuclear plant. Good. Now let's enter and measure the lies. Number 4, the elasticity of space. French architecture might treat Euclidean geometry as a mere suggestion. You will see surface habitable. This is the legally livable space where an adult human can stand upright, at least 1.8 meters. But dodgy listings love to flirt with other phrases. Surface utile, surface au sol, which can include barns, attics, the void under the stairs where only a depressed badger could sleep. If the property is in a copropriété, an apartment, a townhouse in a shared complex, then you meet France's favorite plot twist, la loi carrée. This is the official measured private floor area used for copropriété lots. It is the number that matters in the paperwork. And yes, it also plays by the 1.8 meter rule, meaning anything under that height starts vanishing like it's being snapped out of existence by a French bureaucrat with a ruler. When a listing says 4 bedrooms, you arrive to find 2 actual bedrooms, 1 room that is technically a corridor, an attic where the ceiling begins at your shins. This is not a room, it is a storage facility for hamsters. Ask the agent, what is the exact surface habitable versus the total floor space? Surface au sol. If this is a copropriété, what is the exact loi carrée surface shown in the diagnostics and paperwork? Do all the listed bedrooms have a ceiling height of at least 1.8 meter? Have the attic conversions been declared to the tax office? This last one is very important because in France, an attic conversion can change the property's taxable surface. Okay, you have checked that you can physically fit inside the house. Barely. Now we must determine if the house functions or if it is merely a stone carcass. Number 5, the small works trap. In a French property listing, you may come across the following: petits travaux à prévoir, small works expected. Small, the word sounds dainty, harmless, but petits travaux may mean the total infrastructural collapse of the building, the grid, the plumbing, and the roof. The house is currently powered by a single wire and a lemon. The rule is absolute. If you cannot price it, you cannot afford it. If the listing says toiture à remanier, roof to be reworked, assume the roof has already departed for the afterlife. It is gone. It is with the angels. Ask the agent, what is the age and condition of the roof? Do you have any recent invoices from artisans? Are there any known active leaks? Are the water and electricity meters currently active and connected? So, you have accepted the rewiring. You are brave. But a rewired house can still be an icebox. Let's discuss the cold. Number 6. The DPE danger zone. You inherit a DPE, Diagnostic de Performance Énergétique, Energy Performance Diagnostic. It ranges from A, spaceship, to G, igloo. Class F or G, you are buying a stone lung. It exhales warmth and inhales bankruptcy. By law, you cannot rent out G-rated homes. The government has decided tenants have a human right not to freeze to death. Selfish of them, really. If the listing says DPE vierge, blank, or non soumis, not subject, be suspicious. It often implies the absence of a central heating system entirely, just a matchbox and a blanket. Ask the agent, please send the full Dossier de Diagnostic Technique, DDT, via email. Does the report indicate the presence of asbestos, lead, or termites? What is the current heating system? And is it functional? You are now warm, you are comfortable, but eventually biology calls, and this is where the true horror lies. Number 7. The submarine program. In other words, the assainissement, the sanitation system, and the septic tank. Those never appear in the photos. You will never see a shot of the sewage system, but it is the most critical hole in the ground you will ever own. If the report says non conforme, the septic tank has failed its exams. It is likely leaking into the neighbor's prize-winning petunias. In France, the Spank Authority, I know, very unfortunate name, requires you to fix this within 1 year of purchase. Rectifying this costs 15,000 euros. You must ask the vulgar question, where does the waste go? Bankruptcy is far more vulgar. Ask the agent, is the property on mains drainage or a septic tank? If it is a septic tank, has the spank inspection been done? Is it compliant? If it is not compliant, is there a soil study available? Right, the pipes function. You venture outside to survey your kingdom. But wait, is it your kingdom? Or do you share it with a tractor? Number 8. The terrain trickery. You see a photo of a garden. The text promises 2 hectares. You imagine running through the fields in slow motion. But some French listings love to hide the layout. Terrain en espalier, terraced, code for cliff. You own 2 hectares, but you need mountaineering gear to visit the bottom of your garden. Non attenant, non-attached. This phrase means your garden is not a sanctuary, it is a commute. It is across the village lane. You will cross traffic to carry your salad to the barbecue. You will risk death for a lettuce. Ask the agent, is the land attached to the house or separated by a road or a path? Is the topography flat or sloping? Are there any rights of way crossing the property for farmers or utilities? You have secured the perimeter. You are the monarch of the castle, but the monarch must pay dues, and the castle has a subscription fee. Number 9. The tax omission. You believe the price is the price. How adorably naive. A listing can look cheap right up until you discover the recurring costs it forgot to mention. Taxe foncière. This is the annual property tax. It is billed to the owner and it is charged on everything. Houses, apartments, land, outbuildings, the lot. In plain English, it is the tax for the privilege of having a roof sitting politely on French soil. It is calculated from the property's official rental value, then multiplied by local rates. Taxe d'habitation. This one causes maximum expat confusion because it mostly vanished for main homes. But it is not dead. It is just hiding behind a curtain, waiting with a club. If it is your main residence, for most people, it is no longer due. But if it is a second home, then France remembers you exist and sends a bill to celebrate. Charge de copropriété. If you buy in a building with shared areas, you pay for the stairs, the roof, the cleaning, and sometimes a lift that breaks purely out of spite. Ask the agent, what was the exact amount of the taxe foncière for the most recent year? Is the property currently subject to taxe d'habitation or the taxe sur les logements vacants? You can afford the tax, but there is one final test, the test of time. Number 10. The mandate mess. France uses the mandat simple, meaning 5 different agents can list the same house at 5 different prices. This creates the time capsule glitch. You are browsing in July, the heat is oppressive. You are sweating, but in the photos, is that snow on the roof? This means the photos were taken in winter. The house has been on the market for 8 months. Why? What did the last 20 people see? Did they see Jacques, the friendly ghost? Did they smell the rot? This tells you one very important thing. This is a sticky listing. Ask the agent. Is this a mandat exclusif or a mandat simple? How long has the property been on the market? Why are the photos from a different season? Have any works been done since they were taken? So, after all that terror, is it worth it? Yes, obviously. It is France. It is not just a country. It is living inside a postcard that serves cheese and je ne sais quoi. But do not buy the fairy tale blind. Do not walk in there like a golden retriever. Because the dream is real. But we prefer the version of the dream where the roof stays attached to the building and the septic tank is a sanitation device, not a life lesson. Now, be magnificent and go ask those questions. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all.